What's going on, everybody? I'm Jiffy Nano and welcome to an Escape from Tarkov video. Today I'll be showing you my favorite budget assault rifles for before you unlock the flea market and one for after you unlock the flea market. But I know what you're typing down there. Jiffy, you're only level 18. It's like 2 months into the wipe. Why should we listen to you? You suck. And to that I say, yeah I do. I cannot aim in this game to save my life. But hear me out. At first, I really did debate whether I should make any content on Tarkov, since I am kind of bad at the game, but I feel like there's some value in me being not great at the game, but improving and explaining what I did to improve while I'm experiencing the growing pains that other new players are experiencing as well. A lot of the bigger guys, they make great content, they can be very informative, I enjoy watching them myself, but they've been playing for years. So when you've been playing a game for that long, you kind of forget what it's like to suck at it, and it's not their fault, that's just kind of how things work. Pest's raid series, for example, great content, it's extremely informative, but Pest already has all of the nuances and weird things in this game figured out. They come naturally to him and he doesn't have to think about it because of how much experience he has in the game. So much experience that it's almost impossible for him to explain everything that's going through his head in a given situation. Because of that, something that takes him 5 hours could take a new player 50 hours. All this being said, it's a fantastic series, you should definitely check it out, but I feel like having a fresh perspective, someone who is still learning the game, can be extremely helpful. So now that that explanation's out of the way, let's talk loadouts. So, budget loadouts. I love me a cheap gear set, but there is a fine balance between ease of use, utility, and straight price. Before you unlock the flea market, your choices are very limited. You'll have some M4s or AK-74Us to start off with, depending on which faction you choose, but in my opinion, the ammo for 5.56 and 5.45 is not worth using when you have access to 7.62x39 PS from level 1 Prapper. With 57 damage and 32 armor penetration, PS is no slouch of a round for how cheap it is, especially in the early stages of a wipe. 7.62 PS will almost always pen through level 3 armor and below, and it can even whittle down level 4 armor if you can land multiple hits. Because of this, most people will tell you to grab an SKS from Prapper, throw some PS in your pockets to top load your mag, and go in practically naked. And yeah, aside from melee or pistol only, that's probably the cheapest you can go, and it can do some work. I've done this myself with mixed results, but as a newer player, I have a hell of a time with the iron sights in this game. The iron sights in Tarkov are way more realistic than other games, so they're super tiny, and I can't see a goddamn thing using them, so personally, I like to have some kind of optic, and it just made things way easier for me. So instead of using the SKS, I use the Vepr KM VPO136. This is a semi-auto AK that is sold by level 1 skier for 32,420 rubles. Now, out of the box, this is extremely similar to the SKS. Both use 7.62x39, both are semi-auto, but this has 30 round mags you can buy from level 1 Prapper, which you can't get anything more than a 10 round internal mag for the SKS until level 2 Peacekeeper. But my favorite part about the Vepr KM is for 6,325 rubles from level 1 Skier, you can buy the Academia Bastion dust cover. This dust cover replaces the normal dust cover and rear sight for the Vepr, and this alone gives it a better sight picture, but also allows us to put a load of different optics on it, allowing us to put on the Cobra reflex sight from level 1 Prapper for another 9,975 rubles. So for a total of 48,720 rubles, you have a super solid rifle with optics that can also be upgraded over time with stuff you find in raid or other things you buy. Now, I know that almost 50k for a rifle is much more than the 22 you would normally spend on an SKS, but in my opinion, this is much easier to use with both 30 round mags and an optic, and you can get all of this from level 1 vendors without the flea market. I used this setup for a while, it was one of my most successful loadouts when I was early level, and I continue to use a variation of this even now after I can afford good kits. So once you unlock the flea, you could actually use this same weapon and buy 7.62 BP. BP has 58 damage and 47 armor penetration and is the best ammo for the 7.62x39 category, easily penning through level 4 and 5 armor and only having trouble with level 6, but level 6 is super rare. The only issue with BP is it can get super expensive, over 1,000 rubles a bullet. So now that I have the flea market, my favorite budget rifle to use now is actually the Vepr AKM VPO209. This is an almost identical rifle to the VPO136, but instead of being chambered in 7.62, it's chambered in 3.66 TKM. Now, full transparency, 3.66 is kind of crap. The only good ammo for it is 3.66 AP, and that round has pretty sizable penalties. The 3.66 AP has a colossal 90 damage and 42 armor penetration, but gives a negative 28% accuracy debuff and increases recoil by 35. Now, I know this sounds like a lot, and it kind of is, but honestly I didn't notice this nearly as much as you would think. This is seriously one of my favorite rifles to use right now, even with all the penalties. That bullet does so much damage for the amount of pen it has, and because it's kind of a crappy gun, no one takes it. I've gotten the same rifle back on insurance 3 or 4 times now. 3.6 AP is also much cheaper than other similar pen ammo, hovering around 6 to 800 rubles a bullet, which is still fairly high considering budget loadouts, but I have seen it drop as low as 4 or 500. In comparison to other similar rounds, this is a really good bang for the buck. 5.56 M855A1 has only 1 armor penetration more, but normally runs around 2,000 rubles a round, so I'd say this is pretty good. An argument can also be made for 5.45 BT, which is super cheap and has 37 pen, but my issue with that is people are more likely to take that AK 105 or 74 than a 3.66 Vepr, since you can put super high tier ammo in it. In my mind, getting a weapon back on insurance means I don't have to build it again, saving me 50k rubles. And because both these Vepr AKs are undesirable, they come back pretty often. So let me know what you all think of these. I know these aren't the cheapest weapons you can bring in, probably aren't even the best for the price, but I feel like the inclusion of an optic is extremely helpful for newer players. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, and let me know if you guys want to see more Tarkov content. I've been kind of obsessed with this game lately for like the last 3 weeks, and I've had some more ideas for videos I'd like to make. If you found this video helpful, consider dropping a like and maybe subscribing and hitting that bell so you see my future uploads. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.